respectful white man.
Okay.
All right, well, let's get started here with episode 43 of the Current Gen podcast. My name's Tim. I'm here with Derek and Dan. Derek, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed your vacation.
I did. I appreciate you giving me time off. You haven't given me time off in the last 4 years.
you-
Well,
you
listen,
didn't-
it's
You didn't
it's
even
crunch.
call in.
It's
you know?
crunch for the Current Gen podcast crew, and
Uh,
and I know that makes a lot of people upset that there's
well,
crunch.
we have had a lot of audio bugs.
We
So
have.
we definitely need to
Sure.
crunch and get that ironed out so we
Yep.
have a solid show.
Just
we
so you
also
know,
are trying to,
though,
like quadruple our audience size, and
You're-
that's crunch time too.
just so you know, your bonus is also based off of our Metacritic score, and that's probably pretty low. So I
No,
don't think-
my bonus is based off my looks, and my looks continue to improve, so my bonus continues to
that's
go up.
actually very subjective. So you should shut your face.
No. Pretty sure my opinion's objective truth.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, but
Okay.
the thing is, the bonus isn't money. We don't have any money, but it's just a random object from my house I'll mail to you based on how I feel you're doing. So, Derek, based on your looks, I'm going to send you
Oh, man.
this chapstick.
Thanks, Kevin.
Partially used chaps.
Partially used. It is partially used. Hey,
I have a
listen,
concern.
it was Christmas this past weekend. I hope you guys had good ones. Did you either treat yourself to something or get something that you are excited about?
Whoa, what happened here?
Oh,
Did
Things
someone
are-
just go to together mode? What was this?
I did. Sorry.
Oh my gosh. This might be the greatest mode ever.
Should I go back?
Why
Should I
are
go
we
back?
sitting in this weird amphitheater
Hold on, let's go back.
in a park?
Oh my gosh.
What is
happening?
This is
Are we
awful.
are we like judging somebody in the middle of some?
That's what I
looks like-
feel like. Like we're just
Coliseum?
on the
Yeah,
sideline.
I feel like we're in some jury in Harry Potter. This
Off
is
with
really
his
bad.
head.
This is really
So
bad.
I'll start. I'll share a little story. I made it in my post, but again, I'll just share it real quick here. So Christmas Day, I actually got 0 gifts because apparently it's not just this podcast where the people don't like me. My family doesn't like me either. That was great. So I got no gifts, and I came home and I checked the mail, and I don't check the mail, like I forget for like a week. So I checked it on Christmas Day, which is weird. I don't know why. But I checked it and I saw I had like some, more personal mail, not bills and stuff. So I went through it and I came to this envelope and it was addressed to somebody I don't know at all. And I was like, well, it looks like it would be a Christmas card. Maybe it'll have like something cool in it. Sure enough,
my
I open it up. And sure enough, I open it up and it has a $100 Visa card. So I did the respectable thing, guys. I turned that thing in. I wanted to make sure the rightful owner, which is now me, got to spend that $100. So I ended up buying. Ubisoft had where if you put 2 games in their cart, they would give you an additional 20% off, and they already had all these games on sale.
Yep.
So I wanted Assassin's Creed and Immortals on PC. So I got both of those for $70, but of course I used the $100 gift card to pay for it. So really, I got it for free. And then I bought Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition on the PS5.
Nice.
I used the rest of the $30 on that, so I paid $10 for that game. It wasn't on sale. But I've just for some reason been wanting to go back and just. I think I just wanted to look at it because it has ray tracing, it has all these.
It's a
modes.
gorgeous game.
Yeah, so I went ahead and bought that, and then I just bought a bunch of several. I actually ended up buying Godfall on PC. I know I own it on PS5, but I really just wanted to see what it looked like, and I didn't realize that the Epic Store, they just keep giving you $10 coupons.
They do.
So every time you buy something, they're giving you, and they've done that before, but they had been cutting that off. So
with the
I-
Godfall sale, you should have gotten that for like 40 then, right?
yeah, I got Godfall for 40. I got Death Stranding for 20 on PC because Death Stranding actually has DLSS. It apparently runs amazing on PC. So it's more just about owning it. I mean, anybody that knows me, I like to own my games. So I was okay buying those. And then I bought some stuff on Xbox. Like I bought, and I've been playing it lately, The Division 2. I bought the expansion on Xbox. It was $9. And then I got Ori and the Will and the Wisp. And I got some other stuff, nothing like major, but mainly was buying PC stuff. Like I wanted Assassin's Creed, Immortals, and Godfall were the big 3 that I was like, man, with this $100, there's nothing else I really want. I might as well just buy the games that I wanted on PC. Because all the games that I own on PS5 are disc.
Yeah.
And I'm really lazy now where I don't like to change out my disc. So I literally just have had Assassin's Creed in my PS5. So I have been ignoring Godfall, even though I really want to play it, because I don't have it in my PS5.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
totally.
Have you been logging into Epic Games? The games they've been giving away for free haven't been mind
No, they
blowing, but
weren't
it's still
what I was
interesting.
hoping they were.
Yeah, I think the ones that I thought were cool, I liked getting Oddworld, but I already have that elsewhere, so it's like, all right, I guess I have this on PC now. I'm trying to think if there was any others that I thought were cool giveaways.
I got all of them, even if I don't care about them.
Same here. I just added to my library. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did as well.
Yeah, it's
They
worth.
gave away like Inside. They gave away City Skylines. They gave away my time at Portia. So a bunch of games I'll never play because I've either tried them elsewhere or I'm just not interested. But I don't know. I just like adding
I
free
knew the
games.
list was fake that Yotan, I think,
That would have
posted
been an
on.
amazing list.
After I tagged you
Yeah.
because I thought about it, I was like, oh, Dying Light's not even on Epic Store. So that's fake.
Yeah.
It was
But-
too good to be true, but I was like, well, it is Epic. They do go above and beyond.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the games that are on sale now, and they are starting to raise their prices, people don't realize, like, I jumped on this right away, and I got, like, 20 or 30, like, $40 to $60 games. I got them for $5.
Yep.
Because they were selling them all at $15 with a $10 coupon. I bought everything.
There's
The
no
Witcher
reason
3
not
Game
to
of the Year
have that
edition.
Epic account and just check it out every
Yeah.
week. Every
Yeah,
week they'll
pretty
put up
much.
anywhere from 1 to sometimes 3 free games.
Even if you don't have a solid PC or anything, just have the account,
It's on your Epic
accumulate those
account.
games, and then
Yeah.
eventually when you do upgrade, then you can just play them.
Which I would tell
You
you,
can even do it
Tim,
on
I
your
mean,
phone. So
I don't know how much you've spent already, and you can tell us now, but if I was you, now that I know the coupon just duplicates, they have like a bunch of like Ubisoft games for $15 that you can get on PC for $5 with that coupon. Like I would get Tom Clancy's Breakpoint, which apparently is now an amazing game now that they've updated everything. Like all those games are $14.99, but with the coupon you're really only paying $5.
yep.
It's totally worth it on PC. And I will say, I'm not. I know Tim won't buy it now, but down the road, buy Godfall either on the PS5.
I thought
or
about it.
PC.
$40 isn't
It's
bad.
actually really good.
Yeah,
It's
$40 isn't
super
bad.
fun. I
Yeah.
think it gets a bad rap.
Yeah. No, I thought about it, but I didn't pull the trigger on it yet. So remind me if I'm wrong, let me know. But if any purchase over a certain amount gets you a new coupon every time.
Yeah, so anything over $14.99, so it would be $4.99, with the coupon applied. You'll see it like as soon as you purchase it, it pops up with the game to download it, but it also pops up to let you know you have a new coupon. I was like, holy crap, it just keeps duplicating.
Yeah, so I bought a couple of little games here and there that I thought looked cool, but nothing crazy. And I haven't felt the need to grab a Ubisoft one because I'm using the Ubisoft Plus.
Yeah. But
and
I
then-
like owning it, so.
I know, but by the time I'm ready to own it, and like maybe I'll cancel Ubisoft Plus, let's say in February, or whatever, whenever I finish Assassin's Creed and Immortals both. Then if I decide I want to own those games go on such steep sales so quickly. Like Immortals is already down to 40.
Immortals is already down to 30 because to me, and maybe they had it planned. Maybe they were like 60 is a bonus. We really think this game's a $30 to $40 game. If we can get 60 out of a few people, but the fact that they've dropped the price so fast, and it's not like, oh, it's the holiday season, it's just dropping for a week. Like it's been pretty consistent that they're dropping it to $30 and $40.
Yeah, I'm curious to see
right
what the
away.
sales numbers are for Immortals because I mean it's
That's
a new.
what I feel like.
It's a new
By the
IP.
way, I want to call out, how I like to call out random people because I just observe groups. Again, I saw nothing but hate for Immortals before it released. Now, amazingly enough, now that it's super cheap and a bunch of people went and bought it, all I'm seeing in all the big groups is praise for that game. Oh, it's so good. I don't ever hear any, it's just a cheesy Breath of the Wild.
We've had that conversation about prices of games. People just have that like automatic opinion about something. It's $60, so they have their opinion. They drop it to 30 or 40, and it's like, well,
now it's an amazing game.
Now it's amazing because that's the price in my head that I think that it should have been. It's like, well, I mean,
Yeah, there's no sales numbers released yet, but I think next month we'll get the NPD from December, and it'll be interesting to see how it does. I think it'll actually have decent numbers.
I think it will too, but I think it's going to be skewed by. It's like I always say, everybody now comes back and says PS3 outsold the Xbox 360. You're correct, but they did it after the price drop. So I guarantee you, Microsoft actually probably made more hardware money off
Yes.
the Xbox 360 because they sold most of theirs when it was higher price
Correct.
than PlayStation. So the point of me bringing that up is the same thing with like Immortals. Immortals numbers are probably going to be pretty good, not like super high, but probably pretty good. But how many of them are going to be the $30 and $40 compared to how many were bought at 60? That's a huge difference.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of draw for this game because it is basically, because Assassin's Creed, of course, is a mature game and it's really violent. It's not a game that kids should be playing necessarily, in my opinion. But Immortals 100% is. It's that same Assassin's Creed / Zelda kind of experience. You get a very similar experience of an open world and finding stuff, but it's very, very kid friendly. So anyone looking for an alternative to Assassin's Creed, that's a good one. It's a good one. Speaking of Zelda, that is one game that my son got. He got the new Zelda Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity game. That game is pretty awesome.
He was playing the demo, you said, right?
It is totally awesome.
He played the demo a bunch, and now he's got the full game, and so he continued from where he left off because the demo save can carry over.
Yep.
And he is really digging it. And I was watching him play a little bit. It's awesome. It's a really cool game.
Super fun.
But I mean, it is still a Muso game, so I'm not trying to make it sound like it's a full-on Zelda game, but it's got more variation than what I've seen from most Muso games, and it does have a really interesting kind of prequel story.
Well, when you have that Zelda property to sort of pick at, especially Breath of the Wild, that's just
I feel like what they did a really good job of is making you, yes, you are playing, a Warriors type game, but you still feel like you're playing a Breath of the Wild type game as far as with the specials they give you and the amount of specials and the amount of different characters. So I talked about it when it released. I played, I think, a couple levels of it. I haven't gone back, but that's not a surprise. There's literally 80 gazillion games out. So So it's a good thing I bought more because I totally needed it.
Yep. As far as stuff I got, my wife got me a whole bunch of really cool things. I got several mugs that I like a lot. Some of them have our family picture, and some of them are just the cool, like, kind of stoneware style mug, which is my favorite, like the real heavy duty. I also got this shirt because she doesn't judge me for who I really am.
Choose your weapon.
Wait.
Said choose your weapon. There you go.
There it is.
Oh, okay.
So she cares a little bit, just a little bit.
She
I bet you she rolled her eyes the entire time she clicked the button to purchase, when it showed up at the door, when she started wrapping
She still somehow clicked on it, though, even though she was rolling her eyes.
True. It's true.
Wine.
I also, since I'm going to be working from home all the time, even after quarantine stuff, she made this sign for me that either I can hang on the door that either says hardly working or working hard, and I can switch it whichever way that way the kids can know to leave me alone.
But will they
just leave it on working hard even when you're gaming?
You got it, man.
I mean, because that's valid. It's definitely valid. So.
Yeah. It doesn't mean it's at my job.
Explain to her that you're a father who's grinding right now.
That's right. Grind on that controller, honey. Grinding on the controller.
I will definitely do that. It was really good. The kids got lots of fun stuff. Our oldest is at that age where if he does, I mean, his list was ridiculous. We've got 7 kids we're buying gifts for. So we're trying to split the money up evenly.
I saw the picture, Tim.
So that's lots of gifts, and of course the younger kids' stuff is way cheaper because it's just plasticky, and the older they get, the more expensive it gets. But he had stuff like a new iPad and a phone and his own computer and a new TV. Like nothing he listed was going to be less than like $400. So we're like, we can't get you any of those things because you can't get that much for each of the other kids either. We're not spending $3,000 this Christmas. So
how dare you?
Some of you listening are like, what? You don't spend $3,000? But anyway,
no, that's insane. Who didn't?
I still think he had an awesome Christmas. He got a ton of cool clothes. He got new rollerblades. He got these LED lights that he gets to program and hang up around his room. He's got an app on his Kindle that he can control them. So I don't know. I thought it was pretty good overall for everybody.
Nice.
Yeah. I thought it was good. What about you, Dan? Anything specific?
Anything specific? Well, some of the highlights. Let's see if I can actually do that. Okay. So it's actually what I used last week, but this pair of headphones right here, Steel Series.
Yeah.
I did some research because I wanted something that was going to work with the how they're going to emphasize 3D audio with PS5 games. So apparently this will kind of work with that.
Nice.
It has 24-hour 24-hour battery life. I'm sure that's not totally accurate. I'm sure it depends on various things, like maybe if you have it on max volume, so on and so forth. But I mean, it's way longer than the PlayStation ones that I have. The audio quality is really nice. You can
Which ones are these?
Steel Series.
They're the 150s, right? The $150 ones.
Yeah, it's the.
That's the one you wanted, like the Arctic white.
Arctic
ones
7P wireless. Yeah. Well, okay. This pair is black, so because there's a white and a black pair, and it actually works with everything because it has the receiver. That's USB-C, I believe, so you could even plug it into your Switch.
Oh, nice.
Okay. If you have an Android phone, you could plug it into that. Like, you can plug it into almost anything. And it has an adapter, so, if you don't have a USB-C input, then you can, use regular USB.
So. Everyone except for Apple.
Guys, why is there like a creepy
which I have an iPhone
behind me, like glaring at me?
Why is there what?
A creepy guy behind me glaring at me.
Behind you?
The guy from Cyberpunk?
Oh.
He's been there the whole time.
Tiana. There's Tiana.
You realize he's been there the whole time, right?
No, just noticed him.
Oh, okay. Anyways, freaking weirdo. This right here, imported from Japan. It's Final Fantasy VII Remake 7-disc full soundtrack.
Dang.
So it's pretty amazing. It's got.
Why is it so wide? Are there other things in there, other collectibles that came with it?
So the only thing I don't like about this is actually this right here is like thick paper. It's not like a hard case, unfortunately. But there's the very front, there's an art book.
Oh, it's cool.
And it actually tells you all the tracks on each disc. But yeah, it just kind of has like the art on the outside of it, like there's arrows. And then when you open it up, it just has the 2 discs there. So
that's pretty snazzy, man. I like that.
7 discs all together. So that's pretty amazing, dude. Square Enix and their Square Attacks, like this was $70. Like,
yeah,
it's insane.
Yeah, but they knew there's lots of Freyduses out there that'll buy it. So,
oh, absolutely. A bunch of dumb nerds.
Bunch of Chocobros they can take advantage of.
Well, speaking of Chocobros, Tim.
Hey, look where Derek's face is positioned, right next to his background.
What was that?
Right as he was leaning that direction. Look. Oh, boy.
Why don't you open your mouth up a little bit there? Why don't you open your mouth up a little bit?
I just want to say that was the mature one of the show that pointed that out, by the way.
That's true. That's fine. Speaking of mature, my little chocobo here.
That.
And it's the polygonal from the Final Fantasy VII, like it has
Final
all sort
Fantasy
of like.
VII, yeah, that's like the races and stuff.
Yep.
And if I was your wife, I would divorce you.
What is that made out of? Is that?
I'm glad my wife doesn't have crappy opinions like you.
What's that little thing made?
Sorry, it's 3D printed.
Oh,
so when you look really close, you can kind of see like the textures of like things that are 3D printed. But honestly,
Death Stranding is real life. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And then just kind of like a chocobo, like light up lamp thing.
Nice.
And then I got a
Bakugo
statue up there. Yeah, I do like Final Fantasy too. And then I got a Bakugo statue up there, but I'm not going to reach for it. So that's from My Hero Academia, a character.
Nobody here cares. Nobody. Seriously. My
fine.
daughter might care, but I don't even care that she cares. So.
Well, that's why you got no gifts this Christmas.
I literally got a bag, like a stocking full of chocolate coal. Was what
nice.
Like chocolate coal candy.
Nice.
Let me ask you guys this then, since you guys had very different Christmases than I did too. So we of course watched some Christmas movies. Do you guys watch a Christmas movie or multiple, or is that not something that's that important? You watch whatever.
Christmas is essentially a religion to my wife, so we watched many Christmas things.
Okay. Are there any that you like?
Die Hard not being one of them because it's not a Christmas movie. You know what? Actually, I've liked it more and more over the years. Is the Disney's Christmas Carol? It's their take on the Christmas Carol. It's a classic short, but it has like Mickey playing.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I always liked that one when I was.
Yeah. With
Scrooge's
Uncle Scrooge. Yeah.
That was actually my favorite one with Mickey.
Yeah. Just that one. It's just really nice, and it has nice vibes. It's very nostalgic.
Jiminy
Even
Cricket.
if like I didn't grow up as a Disney person, like I just kind of have that feeling when I'm watching it. So.
Yep, that's a great one.
Yeah, that's her favorite, so I like that one too.
That's a great one. We watched the Santa Claus 1 and 2 with Tim Allen, which are, I think, very appropriately very cheesy and hokey, but they're still fun. And as someone who grew up watching stuff like Home Improvement, like I still appreciate his kind of family-friendly, hokey humor that he brings to TV and to movies that he does. So I know he's not everyone's favorite. I'm not saying he's my favorite, but I do find it very charming. Those movies have a very distinct charm to them. So I like them a lot. I like those movies. So we watch those together and enjoy those. Other than that, they've been watching through all the Harry Potters. So I think they have one Harry Potter movie left.
Oh, those get darker and darker as you go. So
I know we keep warning the kids, like, you sure you want to keep going? Because more people keep dying. It's like,
have they sobbed hysterically yet?
No, they haven't sobbed. They were a little sad during a couple of deaths here and there. No sobbing.
Your kids are just broken. They're just broken on the inside. I mean,
they're heartless.
Dude, we stopped at Harry Potter, the fourth one, so Goblet of Fire.
Yeah.
Because a certain character in that one dies, and my wife couldn't handle the reaction of the father. There's that moment at the end where he's like, "My boy." Like, she's just like, "No, I can't continue." I was like,
that was rough.
I mean, all right, that's fine. It gets worse. So.
Yeah. Oh, it gets way worse.
Yeah, it's way worse.
Derek, did you watch anything?
No, I watched Wonder Woman 84.
Thoughts?
It was terrible. God, it was terrible.
Like start to finish terrible? I've heard different things where it's like parts of it are good, overall not good.
Yeah, I never liked anything. I mean, while I was watching, I was like, okay, this is gonna get better, right?
Okay, but did you like the first one?
Yeah, I actually watched the first one again.
I really liked.
I was so excited to watch this one.
Okay,
because I know DC gets crapped on, but DC has like. I'm not going to say it's my favorite superhero movie because I still consider like The Dark Knight probably my favorite, but it's a close second, and that's Man of Steel. Like, I absolutely love Man of Steel. I like a lot of the DC superhero movies, and Wonder Woman is the original.
Very good.
Is very good. The ending, the last third, which is what people complain about, I do agree is a little like, okay, why did you switch it up from this? You had such a great like group story with Wonder Woman being like this foreign character or in a foreign world. You had like this humorous group story, and then it kind of turned into this traditional like, well, we got to tack on a bad guy for her to fight. Well, in this second one, I'm not going to spoil it, but they clearly tack on one of the bosses just to have action. And then the other villain is annoying. He's absolutely annoying the entire movie. I get like the director or the writers, well, she actually does both, is trying to create like a different type of villain, but it didn't work for me. I mean, it might work for 1 out of 10 people that watched it, but all I've seen is people online crapping on the movie, and I agree with them. And again, anybody who's listened to our show long enough knows my personality usually goes against what everybody else is saying, but I watched it and I was like, no. And my girlfriend she's like, at the end, she's like, oh, that was good. I'm like, you have terrible taste in movies and men, but hey, it was trash.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, I've seen
I didn't like it.
Overwhelmingly negative responses to it. It's one of those ones that I do want to see, but now I'm happy to wait until it's on some free service that we already subscribe to. So
it's a shame if it's legitimately not that great.
Tim, I actually have a 30-day free code. I can just give it to you.
From Cyberpunk, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't
just take it and watch it.
For what? 30-day free code for what?
HBO Max. So then you can watch Wonder Woman right away.
All right, sweet. Yeah, I'll use that. Yeah.
So only thing that I request from you is that you start being nicer, Kevin. You've been hurting my feelings lately, Kevin.
I'm so sorry.
Feelings is an interesting word. When did you learn that word?
I mean, he breaks my heart every day.
Oh, okay.
Every day. Because he won't leave his wife and come move in with me.
That must be really hard for you.
That's what she said.
I was like, come on, that was a softball. That was an easy one.
Literally down below. Well, softball, hard. Yeah, okay.
I will say that I finished watching The Mandalorian, actually rewatching through some of it with my wife. She's being very kind and letting me nerd out to rewatch it, and she's rewatching with me. But love that show. I really love what Jon Favreau and team have done with The Mandalorian. If you guys are Star Wars fans at all, it's so good. And it actually gets me really excited the way they're going to kind of open up more of a connected Star Wars universe, which I know sounds silly, but like think about Marvel, the way it was all kind of connected, but not really. They were all standalone films. And then Jon Favreau came along and made Iron Man and then started to interconnect all these different pieces. and now we have the MCU as we know it today. And they also have some really awesome stuff coming out this year that I'm real excited about. I think the WandaVision's next month, and then 2 months after that's Winter Soldier and Captain Falcon. And so it's
Is
gonna
that
be
all
awesome.
on Disney Plus?
It's all on Disney Plus.
So
Yeah,
it's worth
they're gonna.
keeping because I was thinking about canceling it
Well,
again.
Disney, Star Wars also has more stuff coming, so they're gonna have a couple of Republic Commando shows. I think there's an Ahsoka show. I think that's supposed to come out. There's a Boba Fett show that's gonna be. I mean, they're doubling down on all of it, and I think it's just really cool the way they're doing it. I don't even know if we're going to see more Mandalorian for a long time. Like, he might be in some shows as a side character, but I wonder if season 3 they're going to be able to kind of push that back a bit, because season 2 did such a nice job of wrapping up both seasons' arcs and then kind of setting several characters off onto their own stories. I could see them waiting till like 2022 to rolling out more Mandalorian. But anyway, I loved it, man. I think it's really good. It's really fun. As far as games that I'm playing, it's still mostly dabbling in lots of different stuff. Everything from Assassin's Creed. I'm playing that game Haven a little bit. I think I talked about that Did I talk about that last week? I think I did.
What was the setup of that?
The setup of that is
somebody posted about you talking about it. So
it's I did talk about it last week. So it's basically that couple who's kind of stranded on this.
Oh yes.
It's very anime style. It's an
RPG. Yeah.
And I wouldn't call it. It's very like adventure game, dialogue heavy, and they happen to have some action outside of it. Like, there's some combat. I didn't expect combat. It doesn't feel like a combat type game, but it is so simplistic. It'll make most people go, "Oh, this is the combat." It even tells you at the beginning, like, "Do you want to set this on easy? You can if you want, but this is not a very hard game." It actually says that at the beginning. Like, this is not a difficult game. It's not supposed to be. So definitely not for everybody. It is a little repetitive, but man, I think it's got a ton of style. I love the art style. Even the opening sequence is just really, really stylistic. As an anime fan, Daniel, I think you would like it.
I had my eye on that for a while, yeah.
But it's on Game Pass. Don't know if you will have access to it, but playing that. Trying to think what else. Played a lot of Rocket League with my boys recently. That's been a lot of fun across all devices. Hades just got cross saves, so I've been shifting away from PC and over to my Switch to playing Hades, and you can switch back and forth. You can always sync up your saves, which is cool. So yeah, those are the main things I'm playing. A little bit of Cyberpunk here and there, but it's just tough because it's a game I can't play when anyone else is around.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I've been getting pretty wiped out late at night. So by the time everyone's in bed, I'm like, I'm so exhausted. So that's going to be a very slow progression, but I like it.
I just feel like
it a lot.
Good.
There's just too many like big games. Like, I heard Assassin's Creed Valhalla was going to be shorter. There's no way it's shorter.
Dude, it's a much longer game than the Odyssey main quest was. Yes.
Jesus.
And that's what's stupid, because they literally said before they released, they said the main story is shorter.
Now,
that if you just mainline it.
Skip stuff. So you know how in that game you open up the map and you can always go to Rand V to decide who you want to ally with next? I don't think you have to ally with everybody.
Oh, okay.
But each of them do have pretty major storylines, and if you don't ally with them for the next major story moment, they won't come to help you in the next battle or whatever. But I don't think they're all required. I could be wrong on that one.
Still, the way it's set up is not set up to be a shorter game.
It is not, because if you go too quickly and try to just mainline it, you're probably going to be under-leveled, and now you have to go ride up and down the river in your boat and raid and do all kinds of stuff to try to level up, or go to the little blue orbs, to do those world events.
I do want to talk about Valhalla just for a second.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just updated impressions, because the last time I talked about it, I was like, I'm kind of getting sick of it, or I definitely don't like it as much as Odyssey and Origins.
Okay.
I won't know until I finish the game, but I'm about 37 hours in now. So since the last time I talked about it, I've played probably about 10 to 12 hours more.
Okay.
The big thing is, and we talked about it on the show, I unlocked the ability to dual wheel heavies.
Yeah.
So I switched up because I bought.
Fun.
So I bought the. I don't know if you guys saw it on the Ubisoft store. I bought like the black armor set, like that neon glows in green, neon green.
Oh, the like Draugr, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it
it's
looks
a
like
really
a skull.
cool looking set.
That's the one that I bought.
Yeah, I just bought it because I thought it looked cool. The weapon it comes with, I hate. It's like a poison hammer, but it doesn't have long reach. It doesn't. It's trash. So I actually went and bought a heavy sword off the store just because I wanted a better weapon. than that stupid hammer, and I bought a heavy sword that's like a fire one, so it's black, but it's got like flames on it.
Yeah.
And then I had another heavy sword that I've just been upgrading. So now I have dual wielding heavy swords.
Yeah.
It has changed the combat 100%. Like
literally what I told you to do.
It's completely reversed my experience because I was playing with that hammer and a shield, and I told you guys that I can't stand using the shield because all I do is just put it in the ground and I'm stuck. And then the hammer doesn't have good reach, just as like a solo weapon. It's actually a pretty cool weapon for your left hand because it just hammers down real fast, so you can knock them down and then swoop in with your long sword. But overall, I just didn't like that weapon, and I was only using it because it was my highest leveled weapon, and I paid for it. But now that I've got two other weapons that I would rather use with my cool armor, I absolutely love the combat. Like, I am still stealthing every once in a while, but for the most part, I'm like, nope, I'm OP. Like, I'm just going through destroying guys. Now I'm starting to face harder enemies. I am noticing that I'm starting to face some guys with, like, thick shields that you can't just walk up to and break their shield down.
Yeah, the Bannerman guys are tougher. The House Carl guys are much harder to hit. Like, they start to get... There's actually these guys, once you go up north, these... I forget what they're called, Wolf something. Those guys are a little tougher as well, a little more berserker-like. But I'm using, so similar to you, I have I dual wield the heavy weapons, and I haven't looked back. I don't even need shields anymore. I did like the shields, like the round shields, not the big heavy ones, just like the normal round shields.
Yeah, that was the problem. I was using a big heavy one.
I did like the normal round shields. They were fine, but now that I've got a... I forget what the highest level is even called, but it's like the highest level of spear. It came when I synced up my Amazon account with Ubisoft. Then they gave me
you were saying that.
This Carolinian or whatever it's called gear. Anyway, so I have a spear from that, which you talked about reach. This thing can reach so far. It's awesome. And so that's why I like it a lot, is I can hit enemies and they can't quite reach me. And then on the other hand, I've got this golden Dane axe that every once in a while, if I need to clear the deck, I just hold the L1 or LB, depending on which controller you're using, and just start doing these like helicopter spins with my axe to clear it out.
That spin is just so amazing.
It's so fun. Yeah.
There's a special ability I unlocked the second level of it. I only really use this one ability, to be honest with you. And basically, and I don't know the name of it, you guys probably do. You charge at them, you grab them, and then you slam them, and you can direct them into a wall. And once you hit the wall, the second part of the special ability is like I leap up, and then I throw an axe, and for most enemies, I kill them like one shot.
That's
awesome. Just throw them into the wall, jump off on them, and then throw the axe and cut their head off.
I haven't used that one a ton. That makes me want to try that one out, though. I have used the one
so much
where
fun
you
do
this Viking rage where you tackle them and then you just start pummeling their face.
Okay, I used that like once and I didn't know what I was doing. That was kind of
fun. But the main ones that I use are the one where you jump up in the air and slam down, kind of that area clearing one. I use that one a ton, and I use a few others too, like the axe throws. I like throwing the axes, stuff like that. But I'm digging it. But I will say this, because I'm with you. I think the combat got better when I got to the dual wield heavy weapons. And we'll talk about this when we talk our Game of the Year stuff next month. But I'm loving this game, but it is not better than Odyssey. I still think Odyssey is a better game. I think Origins is also at least slightly better game. I liked Odyssey the best. But I still like this one a lot. I am finding it to be more repetitive and less... I feel less rewarded when I go explore compared to those other two games. So there's lots to go explore. There's actually some really creative puzzles where you have to try to find, like, you can see that there's a chest under the ground, and they actually have some really creative environmental stuff that they make you do to get to it. But then when you get to it, it's so anticlimactic. It's like, oh, here's some more leather and iron, and there's a piece of nickel, I guess, in case I need to upgrade. And I don't need to upgrade anything. I'm like you, Derek. I'm way overpowered. So those things aren't really rewarding to me. So that's a problem when you have this open world that's really pretty and fun to explore, but there's not a lot of rewards on the other side of it. There's also not a lot to do with hunting. The AI is so stupid for animals. Like, I feel like deer and rabbits and foxes are supposed to be scared of me, but they always end up running like right alongside me, like I'm Snow White or something. Like as I'm running through, because their reaction time is so slow. So I don't know. I'm finding it to be just buggy enough that it takes me out of the experience. Whereas stuff like Odyssey, I thought was magical when you go to that first island and get on your ship and it kind of opens up. Same with Origins when you're in the desert and you see the first pyramids. Those games had this magic to them that this one doesn't quite have. But I'm still really liking it. But it's just the game is way too repetitive at the point that I'm at now. And now I am ready to I just want to get to the end. I do want to see how it resolves, but I'm not loving it like I did the other ones, but I really like it a lot. This is like
now,
top 10, but not top game.
Do you think that partial, I'm not saying what you're saying is not true, but do you think that partial, your feelings about it are because you know you have Cyberpunk and Immortals and 50 billion other games where you're like, Assassin's Creed's dragging so much, I just want to try these, or I just want to get deeper into these, and I can't because I know how you are because I've done a podcast longer enough with you that you'll try a game out, but if once you're into one, you're like, I got to finish it first.
Yeah.
Whereas my personality is play 20, 25 hours. Oh, I'm kind of sick of this. I'll just switch to another game.
Yep.
And then I always come back because I always want to beat them, but I take like long breaks.
Yeah. And this one I could take a long break because we just talked about the combat. The combat's not that difficult and it's pretty repetitive. So this is the kind of game that you could step away from. And I think it'd be pretty easy to pick back up and run with it. Something like Cyberpunk.
I already did.
It's so complex.
Took probably a 2-week break, and then I came back easy, and I was like, okay, I'm fine.
It's very straightforward, very easy. I don't know. I think I'm close enough to the end that I want to just wrap up the story. But you are right. I do approach a lot of games that way. Some of them I'm able to let them go and just kind of let it float off. Who cares? I'll find out what happens.
Of course, I'm not saying you do that with every. I'm saying, do you think part of your feelings towards this game is not only is it the third one that's a lot alike like Origins and Odyssey, but also it does, to me, story-wise, drag. And then I think for me, I'm just speaking for me now, personally, my problem is I really would rather play Cyberpunk. And I would like to actually, I won't even dive into Immortals because I've only played 3 hours because I'm like, I've got Valhalla and I've got Cyberpunk. Like, I don't want to have, I'm okay with 2. I like bouncing back and then having like, you know, like a Godfall or a Destiny or something like that where it's mindless. But I don't like having 3 or 4 open world games with all these upgrade systems and all that stuff with a story that I actually want to finish and so I can say I beat the game. I don't like having 3 or 4 at the same time. Like this is for me too many at this time.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think there's a lot of truth to that.
I think it's impacted I'm just, again, speaking personally, it's impacted my opinion of Valhalla because I think if Valhalla came out on its own for a month or 2, I'm not saying I would absolutely love it. I would still probably say, hey, it's behind Origins and Odyssey, or it might be on par, but I don't think it's better. Yeah. But I think it has lessened my liking to the game because of what I just said.
Well, the deeper I get into the game, not only more repetitive it gets, but I am hitting more and more bugs to the point where it's getting a little silly, like back to some of the old early Unity days and stuff. So I'm getting a lot more bugs. I don't know if that's just because when you QA a game this big, you kind of just have everyone start from the beginning and work your way through it. So the deeper you get into the game, maybe some of the stuff flies under the radar. I don't know. But certain conversations, stuff with the boat, stuff with fishing, stuff with combat. I told you last week, I think, Dan, about how, you know, the arrow was like stuck to my hands after. Yeah. So this Yuletide Festival update came through, and I've had more issues since then that have popped up. So that update did some things. But I just had a cutscene where I helped this guy take over a fort up in the north. And by the way, I love being back in the snow. The snow in this game looks fantastic as you travel through. It looks really cool. But I just helped him with this fort. And in this aftermath of the battle, there's like 5 of us standing around talking. And all of us had arrows stuck to our hands.
Nice.
So as we're talking, it's just like this arrow. It's like right between the fingers and just sticking straight out. And so as they're talking, using their hands for anything, there's these dumb looking arrows in everyone's hands, like going through their faces and stuff as they talk. It was really, that stuff like that is bothering me. I'm like, what?
But only Cyberpunk is a broken.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, that kind of stuff is starting to wear on me a little bit where I'm like, all right, love it. Listen, I just hit the 80-hour mark. So I'm ready for this game to wrap up.
Yeah, you're way deeper. Like you're over double what I'm at.
Yeah. So I'm ready for it to wrap up.
It's tricky because it's like, well, to be fair with Ubisoft, it's their own fault for releasing two massive games around the same time. They should have pushed maybe a month or two out Immortals. But it's like all these companies
say that, but then they have Far Cry. Like it's endless. Like,
I mean,
they're
but it's
always
just
gonna have too many.
yeah. It's just that the issue with open world games is you got to pick and choose, because if you want to enjoy one, then you have to just try to enjoy it. Because how do you enjoy 4 open world games?
I think I don't have problems trying to play Cyberpunk at the same time as this because they're different enough, and I do play them different enough. But
totally different.
That's why I am really excited to jump into Immortals more. I think I've played through about the same spot, maybe 3-4 hours, something like that, and enough to kind of know that I really like it and it's charming and fun. It's not super deep, but it's cool. But I said I'm going to hang off on that one. I'm going to do one Ubisoft open world experience at a time because they are very similar in a lot of ways. So I am waiting to play that one until I finish Valhalla, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I like it. I do like Valhalla a lot. It's not going to be my favorite game of the year. There's too many other absolute amazing games.
It won't be mine either.
But it'll be up there. It'll be in my top 10.
Cyberpunk will be, but I know it's been crapped on, but Cyberpunk is, to me, way better than what people give it credit for. It's basically Deus Ex Mankind Divided ×2.
Yeah.
So it's just way
I get a lot of Deus Ex
better.
vibes too. I do. I get a lot of those. I mean, the gameplay obviously feels different, but I get that comparison.
I mean, it's more RPG than Deus Ex, because Deus Ex, you could technically play that game just as a shooter. And I'm not saying you can't play Cyberpunk as a shooter. You can. But I'm even saying the weapons are actually RPG. Like, even your machine guns, like, they have a lot of smart weapons that are like, we lock onto your head automatically, you know? And I'm not just talking about, what is it, Zippy or whatever his name is.
Skippy?
Skippy is one of them, but, which, by the way, pro tip, anybody who gets Skippy, he gives you 2 options. He gives you an option to shoot everybody in the head, or shoot everybody in, like, the legs.
Yeah, I mentioned
always pick to shoot them in the legs.
Yep.
Because once you get 50 kills with the headshots, he automatically switches you to shooting in the legs.
Dan talked about this last week.
Let you switch it back.
Yeah. I know. I read that afterwards. I was so
I'm pissed off because I was like, of course I want headshots. Because my thought was the game wasn't trying to trick me. It was just asking me, do you want to play a character who just kills everybody, or do you want to play a character who wants to just wound people?
Like incapacitate people.
Yeah. So I was thinking, anybody knows my personality. I want to kill everybody. I want to headshot everybody, of course. So I picked that, and then I found out later, once you get to 50 headshots or 50 kills, you're done. Like, the gun's still of value, but it loses a lot of value.
Yeah, but I all remember your Outer World massacres from last year. We all remember this. You kill everybody.
So I actually found a machine gun that's a smart machine gun that also automatically headshots everybody and targets 5 enemies at the same time. So it's way better to me than Skippy. So I'm like, I don't care about you, Skippy. You can suck it. So I just use that.
Nice.
But the reason I brought that up is the guns are RPG. Like, the guns, like the systems that are built in, it's not about how well I aim. Like, I could be aiming to the left of the guy and it will still magnetize to him, and you'll see the RPG numbers flicker up. Like, hey, you're headshotting, you're hitting him in the chest, you're doing this. So it's a really good game. It's definitely not. I've seen people like, oh, it's a GTA. No, it's all RPG. It's got Deus Ex, but way more RPG.
Yeah, it's got a combination of Deus Ex, little pieces of Division even thrown in here and there. It's got little pieces of lots of different stuff, and it's got its own unique spin. I mean, I think for all the crap they're taking for whatever, a lot of the behind the scenes stuff, I think CDP are created a pretty unique experience with this one.
I regret buying the game.
Right. Dan, you playing anything? Anything other than these two?
Just still. I actually haven't touched Assassin's Creed because I have just been sort of diving into Cyberpunk. I am still really enjoying it. I'm not really getting that many bugs. I have been booted out of the game a couple more times since last week, but overall, just like, I'm not hitting nearly as many bugs as some other people. So I definitely understand those people's frustrations.
Sure.
but for me, it's not affecting me that badly. So I'm enjoying my experience.
I think we need to have like a topic on this show about do we need to does Xbox and more Xbox than Sony, but Xbox and PlayStation, do they need to kick old games, old consoles to the curb?
Yeah.
And obviously, it's not just their decision. It would be third party too, because Cyberpunk's third party game. But like Halo, the new Halo, does it need to kick the original Xbox One to the curb? I think that's a good topic because, obviously there's a lot of counterpoints. Main one for keeping old consoles is sales.
Isn't that happening with the new Halo? Didn't they confirm that?
No, it was a rumor, and then Halo 343 came out and said, no, we're releasing it on everything.
Okay. Bummer.
And apparently, I don't know if this was a rumor or if somebody just making something up or whatever. They actually said the delay was because of the Series X, not because of the old consoles. That they already had it running good on the old consoles, that this was more of a ray tracing and just making it prettier.
Yeah.
For Series
Yeah,
X.
just rebuilding the art design from the ground up. That's all, because no one likes it.
Except for me and Jesse White, we both watched that original
I had no
trailer,
problem
and we were like, "We can't believe this game's amazing."
Yeah, I had no problem with the way it looked. I think my assumption as I watched that was, oh, it'll look even better when I'm playing it in person on whatever device I play it on.
I didn't worry about it at all.
But some people did, and they worried about it enough to go ahead and start over. Yep. So I didn't take down any headlines for this week. I know there are probably some, but it's been a holiday weekend, so outside of tons of really good sales. And by the way, most of these sales, whether it's on Switch or PC or the PlayStation just launched a really big sale. I think most of them run through the new year. I think at least through the end of the month,
because they know people are getting gift cards and everything. So
I mean, the Switch has like 2,000 games on sale, and there's a lot of them that are really cheap. You have to kind of wade through all the mobile phone type garbage to get to some of the decent stuff. But there's a lot of really good games on sale. Everything from Hades to Immortals and all kinds of stuff is on a pretty good sale on the Switch as well. So yeah, go check those out. I know PlayStation also has some really good sales on their store. Microsoft has some good sales. So you still got a week to go spend those gift cards and stuff. So yeah, there you go. I do know that before we wrap things up for this week, we're not going to go too much longer. I do think Dan's got a quiz game for us. But also just to let all you guys listen and know that we're thinking about doing some different community involvement stuff throughout the show. So if you've got ideas, I'm open to hearing some of your ideas on how you'd like to be involved in the show, whether it's video or audio clips that you want to send in to us. Maybe it's different contests and stuff. I want to hear your ideas. When Derek and I did Fathers of the Grind back in the day, and then when Dan joined us, we tried a few things here and there, but didn't really stick with anything specific. So I'm open to some ideas there, but Dan, you've got a current gen Battle Square quiz for us. Why don't we fire that bad boy up, and then we'll let Derek go to sleep.
I'm tired, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, we live on the East Coast. We're both tired. Shut up.
Hey, by the way, are you guys working this week? Just out of curiosity.
Yes.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, I had this past week off, but now it's time to get back to it.
I just actually emailed my boss tonight, like a couple hours before, like, hey, she's out of the office, so I just basically was like, hey, I'm taking a half day tomorrow, so.
Nice. Must be nice.
Sweet.
We'll see if I get in trouble, but whatever.
We'll see if I get it.
We all know, come on, I'm the boss.
Sure. I mean, you just said she's the boss, but that's fine. You're obviously.
I tell my girlfriend that too. I run the show.
Well, normally in Battle Square, we get humans battling each other, but today that's not the case.
Okay.
Today, what we're doing is Pokemon or real animal.
Oh no.
So, totally took this from Easy Allies. They usually get questions from their Patreon members, and occasionally somebody will submit a game in. So a few years ago.
By the way, if you guys don't listen to Easy Allies, go listen to it. I've gotten hooked on it. It's one of my favorite podcasts now.
Absolutely.
It's a great collection of people with, I think, very knowledgeable and fun takes on stuff.
I don't listen to them because they're ugly.
It's also oh my gosh.
God, you're so rude.
It's also not like Giant
So
Bomb.
rude.
Where, like Giant Bomb, you might learn a few things, but after a while, they're gonna just depress you and make you kind of hate video games because they can't admit when something's good. So anyway, Giant Bomb is hard to listen to, even though they are knowledgeable. Easy Allies is that nice in between. It's a cool panel of people that actually enjoy what they're doing.
I mean, they literally love and respect is like a tagline of theirs. So yeah. So I know which is all mushy, and Derek hates that. So
I'm totally okay with stealing some of their ideas. They've got some good stuff.
well, technically,
you
it was
guys just
somebody's.
hated on my reason for not listening to them, so you aren't very loving towards me.
Okay. Well, but all I hear is just a river. You crying, a river. Anyway, so Pokemon are a real animal.
Admit it.
So I'm going to give you a description, and it's either going to be a description of a real animal, or it's either a description or straight up a Pokédex entry of a Pokemon. And I'm going to give that to you, and then you guys will decide. Now, I wanted to do a visual thing. I don't know if I could really do that in a sort of streamlined manner. So I could just do the questions.
You could try screen sharing.
Yeah.
If you've got something.
Okay. Hold on. Let's see. All right. Well, let me just get to... Okay. So, the first one is... Let's see. Hold on. Now I got to flip back to this. Okay. The impossibly silly branches that grow from its head might not seem practical, but they're actually its gills. The filaments attached to the long gills increase surface area for gas exchange. Is that a Pokemon or a real animal?
That sounds like a Pokemon.
Real animal.
And that is... Let's see. Oh. That is a real animal.
That's not a Pokemon?
That is an axolotl.
Again, the name sounds like a Pokemon. The face I'm looking at right now, it looks like a Pokemon.
It's adorable. Look at him.
Look at that name.
He's got a little bit of a smile. Axolotl.
Wow.
That is a real animal. They're pretty adorable in real life. They always look like they're smiling. Kind of like the leopard geckos. Leopard geckos also always look like they are smiling as well. All right. Dang. So Derek was actually correct. Tim, you failed. So
sad face.
Sad face. All right. So next one. Prefers hot and humid places. It ensnares tiny bugs with its vines and devours them.
That's a Pokemon.
Pokemon.
The answer is...
Drumroll.
It is a Pokemon. Yeah. It is Bellsprout. Look at that face.
I was going to say Weeping Bell, but that's what it becomes, right? It becomes a Weeping Bell, I think.
Yeah, Weeping Bell and then Victory Bell.
Yeah.
Look at that face, kind of like Derek's face when he sees Sasan, just ready to kind of go to town, go to work.
Don't ruin my childhood with that. Stop it. Stop that.
Yeah, just a little adult humor there. All right, let's see. So number 3. Scientists interested in its great regenerative capabilities are currently analyzing the materials from which its cells are made.
Real.
Yeah, I was going to say real on that one too. That sounds real.
Okay. The answer is... It is a Pokemon.
Oh.
Shellos. It's the female version and the male version. That is a Pokemon.
That is so sexist. Why is the female version pink?
I was gonna say, why can't the male just
she's
be
got
pink?
She's got her hair up in a bun also. Look at that. Up in a bun.
Unsubscribing from this.
Unsubscribing. Hashtag do better.
I know. Okay. You guys are so progressive, especially Derek.
Hashtag me too.
I'm actually not even keeping track of the points.
By the way, back in the day, Blue's Clues was more progressive because Blue, if you guys ever watched that old show, Blue's Clues with the cartoon dog?
Yes.
Blue is a girl, and then they have a pink version named Magenta or Magento or something like that. Anyway, that's a boy.
Okay.
So they were way ahead of the game.
Way ahead, yeah.
And boys they had a host or a guy that was clearly transgender.
Jesus Christ. Steve was not trans. Shut up.
Steve. Uh-huh.
Or, I mean, maybe he was, but I mean, I never thought that, and you're insane.
He was gender fluid.
Okay, you're something
They
fluid.
just relaunched that show with the new host. Those guys are like, listen, it's impressive that you can sit there in what I'm guessing is just a blue room all by yourself,
I know,
looking at a camera and be that like happy and engaging. You deserve a paycheck for that.
It's like his second cousin now. I saw somebody like post a video of like the original Steve like actually does like a video call into, and he's like a detective now or something. I was like, okay, all right.
He's got a drinking problem, and
yeah. He's just on the couch, just like vomit all over him.
he's overweight, has a major drinking problem. Yeah.
All right, next one. Emerging only at night to hunt, this masterfully camouflaged Pokemon or animal, with a leafy tail complete with missing chunks that look to have rotted away, is a testament to natural selection.
Pokemon.
Real.
The answer to that one is... That is real, a real animal, Tim. That is a leaf-tailed gecko.
Look how cool that thing looks.
Yeah. Its tail right there, straight up looks like a leaf. Look at it.
Dang.
And his beady little eyes. That
Look at
kind of
that.
looks like Sauron.
That is so cool looking.
Yeah. So that's a real animal. That's pretty cool.
His eyes look like the eye of Sauron.
It does. Yes.
Dang.
All right. The next one. There's 3 more altogether. Its shell is not merely used for protection. The shell's rounded shape and the grooves on its surface help minimize resistance in water, enabling this Pokemon or animal to swim at high speeds.
Pokemon.
All right.
What did Derek say?
He said Pokemon as well.
Oh.
The answer is, it is a Pokemon. It's your boy Squirtle.
That's right.
The Squirtle Squad.
That's right.
Look at how glorious they are.
On Pokemon Go, I got a few with those cool glasses. Those
you got the Squirtle Squad, Tim.
I did.
That's what you got.
The Squirtle Squad. No.
Squirtle Squad. It's all about the Squirtle.
People
Squad.
still playing Pokemon Go, man. That game is still cruising along.
Well, they turned it so you can play inside, right? You don't have to actually walk around.
I don't know. I haven't played it in a while now, but I know it's still really popular.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what I heard, which is kind of very opposite of what it, you know.
Yeah, they had to adjust with quarantine stuff.
They did. All right. Its powerful lower jaw forms a pseudo-dental comb, which allows the Pokemon or animal to open the hard surfaces of unripe fruits and eat the nuts that most Pokemon or animal would not be able to open.
Real.
You keep saying Pokemon. How the hell is it real?
Well, I said Pokemon or animal.
Oh.
So you're not even listening. You're just on your phone looking at boobies. Looking at boobies.
Well, do you notice that his head all of a sudden turned to look at us when you said something about nuts? He was like,
right, yeah. Do you need me to repeat it, Derek?
Yeah.
Okay. Its powerful lower jaw forms a pseudodental comb, which allows the Pokemon or animal to open the hard surfaces of unripe fruits and eat the nuts that most Pokemon or animals would not be able to open.
Real.
That's what I said too. Real.
And the answer is...
Real animals eat
It's a real animal.
Look at that thing.
It is a bald Uakari.
It has a reverse penis, too. That's a big reverse penis right there.
His forehead kind of looks like a butt.
Looks like
he has ass face and reverse penis.
He fell asleep in the suntan bed.
They're also very endangered, so it's very sad.
Jeez. Thanks, libtard.
Well, that's because anyone that sees it is like, kill the demon immediately. Kill it.
I know, it looks like it would be a boss battle.
It does.
All right, the last one. Let's see here. When startled, it will cover its head with its front legs, exposing its scales to any potential threat. If touched or grabbed, it will roll up completely into a ball, while the sharp scales on the tail can be used to lash out.
Pokemon.
I'll go with Pokemon.
The answer is, drumroll please, it is a real animal.
Whoa, look at that.
It's a
What is
pangolin. It's a pangolin.
That's not real.
It's a real animal, Tim.
That's a person in a costume.
I mean, maybe it's Jim Carrey, just like the Rhino in Ace Ventura 2. When nature calls.
He's gonna climb out of the rear. And they're like, wow, it's giving birth.
Such a good movie. Yep, wow. It's a real animal.
That looks like an armadillo, like on steroids. It looks huge. Yeah.
It must come from like whatever that genome or whatever the friggin' word is. I'm not a scientist. Yeah. I don't know. Or some sort of ologist. Jeez. And that is Pokemon or animal.
All right. Well, we did all right. Derek did better. Looks like Derek really does know his Pokemon. You know, he's a real Pokemon fan at heart.
And animals too. Yeah. He's such a he hates people because he calls them stupid all the time and they're dumb and they should do something to themselves that's dangerous and harmful, but he loves animals.
Now, real quick, speaking of animals, we know that Derek has some pet cats, which are super stinking cute. We know that I've got a dog, so I had to pause our show last week to go let it out. Dan, do you have any pets?
Yeah, Holly is a cat. She's probably middle-aged, so when I try to grab her, she doesn't like it. So I would bring her onto the screen, but she would just be like, oh.
So she's a really good pet. Got it.
Well, the thing is, like, she walks around. She is pretty chill. She doesn't like attack or anything, but like, if she does not want you to grab her or do whatever, like, she's not having it. So
sounds like every wife that has existed in all
there you go. But
don't touch me unless I want it.
No means no unless it means yes.
Dude, I know Dan, you and I talk about Bill Burr way too much, but his bit on No Means No is so funny. He was like, "No, it doesn't.
No, it
doesn't." Like if you read the transcript in the courtroom, it sounds awful, but in real life, they're going, "No, stop it. Stop it." He's like, "That doesn't mean no."
Dude, tell me about it. Like, I'm not gonna even share stories, but like, women are retarded. Seriously, like legit retarded.
Yes, there you go. There you go.
There it is.
We share this with.
I want you to take the lead. And then you take the lead and they'll be like, all you want is this and this and this. I'm like, oh my God, what do you want me to do? I just sit there. Like, I literally one time was just like,
listen, you gave me the steering wheel. This is where we're headed, okay?
Yeah. You want me to take the lead and then you complain about me leading. Like, I don't know what you want.
That's when you get real serious and just look at her and say, this is the way. Just see if she responds to that. See if that works.
I should punch him right in the balls.
She definitely.
So I'm going to tell you right now, I'm already on the path that I will definitely turn into a full Bill Burr. Like, I will turn into Bill Burr.
I wish you were Bill Burr.
Listen, I know that some folks think he's overrated, but I find him to be refreshingly honest and both honest and hilarious. I think he's great.
He knows his stick and he's good at it.
He's good at it. That's right. I'm not always in the mood to listen to him ranting on a podcast or a stand-up, but when I am, especially if I'm feeling annoyed, he's one of the best. Outside of music, listening to him on his podcast or just his stand-up just really helps vent because he vents on my behalf. That's why I love him. Yeah, that's why I love that guy. By the way, one thing real quick I'll mention is I've been getting really into some bands recently, and the one that I wanted to highlight right now, I highly recommend their new stuff, is I was just talking to Dan about this before we were recording, is Bring Me the Horizon. They've been around for a long time, and they used to be, I guess, what the kids called death metal. They used to be much harder and much like more guttural screaming. That's a lot of people would call them that, but I never thought of them that way. I always thought of them as like just metal. They were just rock.
I would call them metalcore, if anything.
Metalcore. There you go. Deathcore, I guess, was what they were called. Sorry, not death metal, but they were called deathcore for a while there. But anyway, I hadn't really kept up with them. I listened to them way back in the day, and they've put out a bunch of songs this year throughout the pandemic. They were putting out singles, even back to last year with Death Stranding. They put out that song Ludens, which is a great song that goes along with Death Stranding. Really cool song. And then they started putting out singles all throughout the year, and they usually feature some other artist in a way that I'm like, I don't normally listen to baby metal, but their song of baby metal is amazing.
Yeah, Kingslayer. I want to be a Kingslayer.
It's so good, and I don't normally listen to Youngblood. I don't have that kind of energy to really get into his style of music. But that song they sing together when they're in the big Power Rangers costumes or robots, whatever,
like robots, and then at the end,
amazing song and really funny and good video. Anyway, I highly recommend those guys. Their whole new EP is fantastic. And the last song is kind of a cliffhanger. I guess the plan is to kind of continue along some of these themes. Because the last song literally ends with this huge buildup, what sounds like they're about to, because it's a soft ballad with Amy Lee from Evanescence. And it has a huge buildup. And then it just all of a sudden all drops out with one single piano chord that hits. And then that's the end of the song. It's meant to feel like a cliffhanger going into the next album.
Nice.
It's all very cool. And so I highly recommend it. Their album is amazing.
Shout out to
I already shared my band.
I was going to say shout out to Parasite Eve and watch it on YouTube because the video is absurd.
The video is crazy. Yeah. This is Bring Me the Horizon, the song Parasite Eve. And they say it, I've heard multiple people say that it's not meant to be tied into the pandemic. I don't see how it's not. Like, it fits perfectly with what's going on with
I'm pretty sure
government corruption, quarantine stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it fits very perfectly with coronavirus, in my opinion.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I started reading an article with him, the lead singer, I forget his name, and he was mentioning this is we're making this during the pandemic. There are clearly themes here,
Yep. So I really dig it. I highly recommend it, especially if you're in a rock and roll mood. You've got a little bit of everything. Love those guys. All right. Well, that does it for us this week. Thank you guys for giving up some of your Christmas weekend, and we'll check in with you next week.
Baba Booey.